Good morning out there.
With Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And we have nothing to complain about here in central New York. This month has been unbelievable, and will it continue today?
Yes, more sunshine is on the docket today, Gary. Plenty of dry weather, and on top of that, not too bad of a morning. Not nearly as foggy as yesterday, so no fog alerts, at least for much of central New York. Temperatures in the 40s for a lot of the region, 30s up in the Adirondacks. Yes, there is some isolated fog developing, but again, you can see here, we actually can see the city's skyline this morning compared to yesterday where that fog was so incredibly dense. So today we're going to see those temperatures start out in the 50s, climbing into the 70s by this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine on tap, but still, we're going to have an update on the foliage report. I took to social media, asked a lot of you, especially in the Adirondacks, how things are shaping up. And maybe it might be past peak very quickly. I'll explain why. We're going to recap the month of September, how dry it's been, and the temperature trend so far. And will there be any rain in the future? Of all that and more coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We are following breaking news this morning out of Indonesia.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back, everybody, on this Tuesday. The weather today looks very pleasant. Not nearly as dense of fog as yesterday morning, so that traffic alert yesterday, not really the case today. The reason for it, we have some high clouds which don't really produce a whole lot of cloud cover, notably visible cloud cover, but it's just enough to prevent some very rapid radiational cooling, which is enough to prevent a lot of that fog from forming. You can see here a lot of area roadways mainly fog-free. A look at the traffic tracker this morning. We have plenty of green, no accidents to report here across the Mohawk Valley, north and south early today. And in fact, early today, we'll see those temperatures start out in the 40s and 50s. Some spots, yes, waking up in the 30s. By this afternoon, the sun still very bountiful. Temperatures in the 70s. Just an overall pretty gorgeous day today. We're going to go back to the past couple of years. We're going to see what was the difference, at least main differences, in the fall season, or at least the late summer, early fall seasons compared to this year. Again, talk about how dry it's been and the latest on that fall foliage in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A small plane made an emergency landing on a...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody, on this Tuesday. Time now is 5:17, and early this morning, well, we begin with a quiet start. Temperatures in the 50s, live look at downtown Utica. Not a whole lot of fog compared to yesterday, and we're sitting at 47 with clear skies out there. So it is a cool morning. Some spots a little warmer, some spots a little cooler, but generally speaking, we are starting in the upper 40s. We were treated to a very colorful sunset yesterday, driven by these high clouds out to our south and to our east. We could see a pretty nice sunrise this morning, but still a lot of that cloud cover is focused in on the east compared to the west. So due to that, it might not be as vibrant of a sunrise compared to a sunset like yesterday, but still we have some pretty nice color in the sky expected later on this morning. Recapping September so far temperature-wise, we really didn't have a whole lot of cool weather. We had a cooler stretch, this should be blue by the way, in the early part of the month. But as we headed into the second half of the month, it's really warmed up. The only big cool downs happening this time of the month wasn't really the daytime highs, it was the overnight lows, which were rather frosty in some locations. But either way, we end the month with around 5 days below, or I should say 4 days below average, and around 9 days above average so far. And as we compare the past few years, 2023, it was a rainy August, a dry September. we had a very vibrant fall foliage season that year. 2024, another rainy August, busy August too with weather, and a dry September. Still pretty colorful leaves around the area. This year though, the difference maker is a dry August and a dry September. And off the latest foliage reports, some areas in the Adirondacks already past peak. And this right here, this map is a telltale sign of a dry stretch of weather. These leaves are changing, but the leaves are just falling off the trees before they reach even peak color. It's very muted due to how dry it's been. So yes, it helps when we have all this dry weather during September, but you need that rainy August. You need some rainfall in the summertime to produce these vibrant colors. Because of that, some of these leaves are falling rather quickly. So on the Skycast today, temperatures in the 70s, plenty of sun, overall pretty quiet weather heading into the next few days. Maybe some isolated frost chances as we look ahead to Wednesday night into Thursday morning right here. But that's really about it. We're going to see those temperatures climb again into the weekend, reaching the upper 70s by Saturday, 80 by Sunday. And just look at this stretch of weather. It is sunny, it is dry, it is warm. We have just no chance for any notable rainfall as this stretch of weather continues across pretty much not only central New York, but all the Northeast. It's just incredibly dry. Yes, it's sunny out, but this rainfall, lack of rainfall, is actually hurting the fall foliage season. But well, we'll see how it shapes up for the Mohawk Valley.
Yeah, I know the leaves are falling on the golf courses, that's for sure.
Yeah, a lot of leaves.
I can't find my balls. Well, with Halloween just about a month away, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore. If you're getting ready to head out the door today, well, you don't have to worry about fog like yesterday morning. Eric, yesterday was pretty bad.
Yeah, lots of dense fog yesterday. Today, quite the opposite. Plenty of clear skies across the area. In fact, let's take a look at the current conditions as you head outside to work this morning. We start out with the Mohawk Valley. We're at 48 in Johnstown, 47 in Rome, 43 heading into the hills south, and 38 up in the Adirondacks. So mainly ranging in the 40s for a lot of the area. Only isolated 30-degree spots. Downtown Utica, this scene yesterday looked quite different. Now today it's quiet, it's dry. Overall, nothing really impacting your commute heading out this morning. So today's temperature is going to be peaking in the low to mid 70s. In fact, I should say even closer to even upper 70s in some spots, with plenty of sunshine, clear skies heading into tonight. And on top of that, we do have an update on the fall foliage report. I put a new one out yesterday. There's already an update on it today. We're recapping pretty much the entire month of September overall, temperature-wise, rainfall-wise, and beyond that, is there any rain in the near future? Is there any signs? We have all that and more coming up in that full forecast. Gary.
Eric, thanks. In Washington this morning, all signs are pointing toward...
2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli.
Good morning. Yesterday I had a hunch this would happen when it comes to the sunset and the view you would get from all those vibrant colors. I didn't expect it to be this vibrant though. Look at this shot right here taken in Cassville by Brittany. Shout out to those of you watching from Cassville this morning, and just look at that silhouette of the trees and the silo in the background and the vibrant sunset taking place across central New York. So many amazing photos like this. It's so difficult to pick just one. To put in perspective, guys, when I'm picking some of these photos here, there are about 10 of these. Amazing, amazing photos, and it's so difficult to pick just one. Still, though, if you'd like to see the rest of the submissions, go to WKTV.com/weather/picks for other amazing photos there, too. And again, as we head throughout the rest of the week, we're going to show more fall foliage updates, though, on that foliage report based off the latest observations and reports sent in to me just yesterday. With all that coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
What a good time to be driving around central New York.
Yeah, gorgeous sunsets, gorgeous foliage, win-win.
Eric, thanks. Hamilton College celebrated.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Time now 5:48, and early today, unlike yesterday, not a whole lot of fog we're dealing with, mainly clear skies. In fact, a live look at downtown Utica, we have those clear conditions out there right now. Temperature currently sitting at 47 degrees at Griffiths and Rome, refreshing humidity and calm winds to start your day today. Radar and satellite picking up on some high-level clouds to our south. That is what caused that beautiful sunset yesterday. And we could see a pretty nice sunrise this morning. I don't think it'll be on the level as the sunset, but still, those high-level clouds are currently present and haven't left our area just yet. So let's recap September. It's the 30th. So before we know it, tomorrow begins October. This month has flown by just as this past year has flown by. And you can see here, we had a very warm end-of-month stretch. It was more close to average in the middle of the month, but these temperatures are rather consistent. Upper 70s pushing 80, which at least the start of the month isn't a huge difference maker, but toward the end, we are sitting still above average. Overall, though, temperatures not really a big difference here when it comes to previous Septembers. But I want to compare not just September, but August. Let's talk about the last few Augusts and Septembers here. So 2023, it was a rainy August and a dry September. 2024, rainy August and dry September. What these had in common, we had some pretty vibrant fall foliage. Now this year, the difference maker is not only we have a dry September, incredibly dry September, by the way, but an incredibly dry August. And you factor those two in, when there's a serious lack of water on these trees, or these trees that can use it, well, the leaves are going to fall quicker than they change. And I think that's been the common trend. I've been looking at new reports coming in, and a lot of the foliage, especially up north, there's a lot more gray mixing in, a lot of muted colors. Anything that tries to change, well, the leaves just fall beforehand. So for right now, I do think this fall season will not be as colorful as the past few, and this season might be fairly quick with muted colors and some quick falling leaves. That will definitely be the case as we head throughout much of the next few days, because of course there's no additional rainfall and the sun will be shining pretty consistently here. So today, high temperatures climbing into the mid-70s, plenty of sun. A slight pattern shift takes place as we look ahead to the middle of the week. We're still seeing a cool down, but patchy frost possible Wednesday night into Thursday. Then sunshine continues as we head into this coming weekend. First full weekend of October, looking pretty nice. Temperatures well above average in the upper 70s, pushing 80 degrees. And as we get to this time of year, it gets harder and harder to really hit 80 degrees or even warmer. I think last year, though, we did have an 80-degree or near 80-degree Halloween day, which was very warm. But for now, at least October looking to be very warm.
Maybe we'll get a couple more months of summer.
It'll continue into November.
Eric, thanks. The Utica Comets.
The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Tuesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And not much to complain about weather-wise here in central New York for the past, month?
Yeah, it's been so dry, so sunny today. Well, we see that pattern continue, Gary. It's going to be sunny and dry again. Let's take a look what's going on outside early this morning. Yes, we're still decent a bit before the actual sun begins to rise above the horizon. But either way, it's 46 in Rome, 48 degrees in Johnstown, 43 Hamilton, 38 degrees in Saranac Lake. A live look at downtown Utica. Clear skies, what a difference a day makes. Yesterday at this hour, it was so incredibly foggy out there with very dense fog. Today, quite the opposite. The reason for it, we have some high-level clouds preventing some of that radiational cooling from taking place. Either way, today we're going to see lots of sun, temperatures in the 70s, a beautiful afternoon on tap. And as we look ahead throughout the rest of this week, we have the latest on that fall foliage, as you can see right here. And on top of that, recapping the month of September, both temperature-wise and when it comes to rainfall, and how that has impacted our fall foliage. Then following that, will there be any rain in the near future that might combat this dry pattern? We'll break all that down coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We are following breaking news this morning out of...
Welcome back. Time now just turned 6:11 on this Tuesday morning, and we begin today with quiet weather. Really nothing notable to talk about today. No fog, at least it's not as widespread by any means compared to yesterday. Roadways dry across the board, and temperatures this morning in the 40s, some spots dipping down into the 30s in the Adirondacks. But either way, just an overall pretty quiet, uneventful morning here across the Mohawk Valley. Traffic tracker, green across the board. We have no traffic incidents to report of early today. And as you head out this morning, we begin with mainly clear skies and temperatures starting out in the 40s, eventually climbing into the 50s by sunrise, into the 70s by this afternoon with still plenty of sun. So grab those sunglasses. No umbrella needed. In fact, maybe you can leave those windows open and let in that fresh air on your drive into work today. Or maybe you can take a motorcycle too. Just watch out for those loose leaves in the roadways. Either way, we're going to be talking about more on the fall foliage and what the weather has done to impact it coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Maybe our engineer, Coast Guard Bob, listen to you. He'll bring his motorcycle today.
Yes, very nice motorcycle he has.
Eric, thanks. Well, a small plane.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. On this Tuesday morning, we begin today with a view of quiet conditions here in downtown Utica. A live view outside. We're starting to see the silhouette of those wispy clouds to our south and east, which I'll show here in the radar and satellite in just a second here. Either way, temperature this morning beginning in the 40s, 46 with clear skies at Griffiths and Rome, and a dew point of 45, bringing that refreshing humidity here locally. So what you just saw, there's the very north edge of that low pressure southwest. And by the way, I'm going to go off camera here so I can zoom out a little bit. We can actually see the influence of what is currently Imelda churning out to sea. There's Imelda right here, and there's Umberto right here. And it's slowly starting to push its way out to the ocean, which is great news for a lot of the southeast coast. But either way, we're getting some of that influence in terms of cloud cover here locally. Recapping September, really it's been an average one for the most part, or at least above average in terms of temperatures for the second half of the month here. But to start, it was so dry, it was warm, slightly warmer than average. A little bit of a cool down in the second week, but then, again, we did warm back up again toward the end of the week with pretty consistent temperatures. And when it comes to rainfall, here is where there's a big difference. So if we go back the past few Augusts and Septembers, 2023, we had a rainy August and a dry September. It was a gorgeous fall that year. Lots of vibrant fall foliage. A rainy August in 2024 with a dry September. Same thing. We had some pretty vibrant colors. I don't think it was on par with 2023, but nonetheless, it was still a pretty beautiful fall. This year, though, the difference maker is we have a dry August and a dry September. With the lack of any notable rain, the leaves on the trees are falling faster than they're changing. You might notice that a lot more frequently, a lot more gray popping up here and there, mixing in with even green. Like you'll see green leaves and then just straight up trees with no leaves on them. And that's the case right now. And I'm expecting this to be a very quick fall, especially in the Adirondacks. There was a very quick peak season, and before we knew it, the leaves are already starting to fall. And we'll see that in a more impactful scale, especially as we head into the next few weeks and the peak season does eventually move in to the Mohawk Valley. Still, though, when it comes to the weather here locally, not a whole lot of notable conditions to mention. It's sunny today, temperatures in the 70s, Beautiful dry weather. That continues for tomorrow. But we do enter a stretch where we could see some patchy frost, especially Wednesday night into Thursday morning, mainly those higher elevations. But we're honestly getting past the growing season. It's pretty consistent now to start to see some of those frosty mornings. But either way, there's not any rainfall icons in that 7-day, Gary. We're back to a week straight of sunshine heading into the first week of October. So this has been a very, very unusual warm and dry stretch of weather.
Yeah, look at that. No clouds over the next 4 days either.
Yeah, very sunny,
Yeah.
very pleasant.
Eric, thank you. With Halloween just in, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libertor. If you're getting ready to head out the door this morning, nothing like yesterday morning with all that fog. Today, Eric, it's pretty clear.
Yeah, quite a difference maker one day makes. I mean, the conditions outside right now, lots of clear reports. Let's take a look at the current conditions across pretty much all of upstate New York right now. 46 and clear in Rome, 48 and clear in Johnstown, 45 in Hamilton, and 38 in Saranac Lake, all reporting again clear skies. So that's the case early today. Lack of fog. In fact, outside, a live view from Utica, we have some of those clouds slowly working their way in. Similar path to yesterday. That's the same cloud cover that produced that vibrant sunset. Maybe some colorful sunrise, but for the most part, this is out toward the east sky, so not nearly as colorful as yesterday's sunset. Either way, today's temperature is going to be climbing into the mid to upper 70s. Plenty of sun across the board, and as we look ahead throughout the week, this week, the latest on that fall foliage report, recapping the month of September, how warm it's been, how dry it's been, and how that ties to the latest foliage report. And then on top of that, is there any more rainfall expected? We have all of that and more coming up in a few short minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. In Washington this morning, all
Welcome back to Sunrise, everybody, on this Tuesday morning. Our photo of the day today takes us to Cassville. Shout out to those of you watching from Cassville early this morning. And it's a photo of a very vibrant sunset yesterday, taken by Brittany here. Great shot of the silhouette of the trees and the silo of that farm in the foreground there. And then, of course, the background, the very colorful yellows, oranges, reds, and purples of that sunset. That was due to that cloud cover, which was indirectly driven into our area by Tropical Storm Imelda. So yes, we're not seeing a direct impact from it, but indirectly, the cloud cover was enough to push its way into our area, just enough to produce a very vibrant sunset. Still, though, if you have a photo like that you'd like to share with us or want to look at all the other amazing submissions of the sunset yesterday, go to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Now, today it's quiet, it's sunny. We have the latest on that fall foliage report, though, due to how dry it's been over the past couple of months. Gary?
thanks. Hamilton College celebrated the
WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Time now is 6:46. Now, fog is trying to form in the Mohawk Valley right now. It's producing a little bit of it heading out to the eastern sky. Downtown Utica, a live view right there, as you can see. Nothing really impactful regarding any fog here in Utica. But we head to our tower cam, and here's a vantage point of the Mohawk Valley. You can see that fog trying to form right there. Either way, currently it's 46 degrees out with clear skies in Griffiths and Rome. Dew point of 45 degrees. Cloud cover to our south and east from what's left of Tropical Storm Imelda, or at least this is the indirect impacts of it. Some of that moisture is getting dragged up the Atlantic coast, producing those clouds here locally. So let's recap September, because of course October 1st begins tomorrow, and so far the month really not that much different compared to usual, at least when it comes to temperatures, except for the second half. Very warm stretch. We were right around average to slightly above average for the start of the month. A little bit of a cool down in the middle of it, and then we warmed up again toward the end. But the big difference comes in the form of rainfall. So incredibly dry. I want to dive into more than just numbers. I want to talk about impacts to the fall foliage season here. So let's go back to 2023. We had a rainy August, above average rainfall, and a dry September, below average rainfall. 2023 was a vibrant season of fall foliage. It was absolutely gorgeous. 2024, it was a rainy August again. It was a dry September, and we had some nice foliage. I don't think it was on par with 2023, but it was still a very nice season. The difference maker this year is it's been a dry August and a dry September. Probably compound that with a dry July, and you put all that together, and you get the recipe for what the latest foliage report is this morning, which is that we've got some pockets of leaves falling very quickly in the Adirondacks, already at past peak in some sections. These leaves are falling faster than they're changing, and that means that we're going to get maybe a couple of days of vibrant colors, if that. Still, a lot of them are muted in the terms of vibrancy, and then the leaves will fall very quickly. So again, when it comes to viewing the fall leaves this season, enjoy them while they last, because it's likely going to be a pretty quick season. Today, temperatures in the 40s, climbing into the 70s by this afternoon. Pretty quiet weather. Over the next few days, still looking mainly quiet. Only real impact we're going to be talking about is a cool down in the middle of the week, followed by the potential for frost, especially Wednesday night into Thursday. That appears to be mainly in the higher elevations, but either way, with the skies clearing out, still, we're entering early October. It's not out of the complete realm of possibilities for seeing frost, widespread frost, but either way, again, it seems to be mainly focused in those higher elevations. Either way, though, Gary, the sun just continues to shine.
Yeah.
No rainfall in sight.
We are blessed.
Yes, a lot of sun.
That's for sure. Eric, thanks. An anonymous individual is spreading positive. Just Eric Gage joining us now. And Eric, we should put some stock into September here in the Mohawk Valley.
I know, if we put some investing in September to start by the end of the month.
Wow.
If we put the over-under on sunshine, it'd be very high. Look at the current conditions outside right now. Again, wall-to-wall sunshine for pretty much the entire state. The only notable cloud cover is down in New York City and Long Island, and even then, it's mainly high-level clouds. So for much of upstate New York, wall-to-wall sunshine, temperatures in the 60s and 70s. A live look at downtown Utica. Blue skies, dry conditions. It's a beautiful day outside today. And as we head throughout the next 12 hours, we're going to expect temperatures to remain in the mid-70s for the remainder of this afternoon, into the 60s and 50s tonight, potentially even 40s in parts of our area. Now, again, we are tracking some dry weather. We have some updates on that foliage report, recapping the month of September and how that ties into our latest foliage report and exactly how it's looking so far in terms of vibrancy or muted colors. And is there any rain in the future, or will this pattern of dry weather continue? And is this record-breaking? We have all that coming up in a few short minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. In Washington this noon,
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
You know, I'm never going to get sick of saying it's a beautiful day outside because, you know, how often do we say in several weeks straight, it's a beautiful day? Well, here's one outside right now. Sunshine, temperatures in the 70s. We take a look at the current conditions right now, 71 degrees, a west-northwest wind of 7 miles an hour. We're going to start to see that wind direction shift today into the north, and that's going to produce some cooler days ahead, but still, with a moisture-starved cold front, it's not really going to produce a whole lot in terms of rainfall. In fact, not even any clouds. It's going to be a very dry pattern moving in. The latest radar and satellite of Imelda and just the overall tropical activity here in the southeastern portion of the U.S. along the Atlantic. You can see how Imelda is slowly pushing its way out to sea. In the meantime, some of the cloud cover influenced our sunrise and sunsets last night and this morning, but that cloud cover is receding as, again, it is slowly pushing its way out to sea. In the meantime, we're going to see a lot more sunshine moving forward for the rest of the day and the rest of the week. So, Today, September 30th. We're going to recap pretty much the entire month of September here. And you notice to start, yes, it was around average. We did cool down in the second week. This past week was extremely warm, well above average, as the pattern of 60s and 70s pretty much continued through the end of the month. So far, it's not an incredibly warmer than average September, but when it comes to rainfall, here's the difference. And for right now, I'm not going to dive into the numbers because sometimes what do they mean context-wise? I'll actually go into the patterns between August and September. So let's go back to 2023. It was a rainy August, a dry September. The fall foliage season was gorgeous, beautiful, vibrant colors. 2024, we had a rainy August and a dry September. Same story. It wasn't nearly as vibrant, but it was still a beautiful season. This year, though, an incredibly dry September and an incredibly dry August and even incredibly dry July. You factor all that in and you get what is happening right now, which is an abbreviated fall season. A lot of the fall colors up north, the leaves are already starting to lose their leaves. It's muted colors. And that's the case. The trees are dropping their leaves faster than they are changing colors. And that means that we're going to be seeing likely an abbreviated fall season this year. Don't get me wrong, there's still patches of beautiful colors. It's not a bust of a season, but just don't expect to be a beautiful season like we saw the past couple of years as this dry stretch continues. In the meantime, again, today it's sunny out. Tonight, overnight lows fall into the 40s, and we have more sunshine on tap with cooler temperatures toward the end of the week. There is some frost potential, especially as we head into Wednesday night into Thursday, and that's our best shot for frost over the next 5 to 7 days. But either way, we head into October, Gary, and I mean, when was the last time you saw a stretch of weather heading into October like this? We're going straight from a sunny week to another sunny week, and potentially a beautiful start to an October weekend, Saturday and Sunday coming up.
It can go on record as the best month I think we've ever had.
It's been gorgeous, Gary.
It really has. Eric, thanks. Hamilton College celebrated the 10th. Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now. And Eric, we're talking about our dry conditions, not just this month, but even August as well, right?
Yeah, August, going back even in July, too. It's been such an incredibly dry summer. We have the data to back it up here. So let's take a look at this graphic. There's a lot of numbers, a lot of lines here. I'm going to explain what's going on right here. So you see the green bars. Those are years where there's above average rainfall. Now, the bottom of your screen here, it goes from 1893 to 2025. This is every single summer, and if the summer was wetter than average or drier than average. If it was wetter than average, you have the green bars. If it was drier, you have the orange. And you can see here, there have been periods of wet weather mixed in with periods of dry stretches, especially in the early 1900s. By the way, our driest summer ever was in 1913 right here with only 6 inches of rain for 3 months straight. Our rainiest was right here, 2006. If you remember the floods of 2006, that was our rainiest in the Mohawk Valley in over 100 and even in some cases 20 plus years. So where does 2025 stick out? And I notice we have a lot of green here in the 2020s or even 2000s in general, but we have one outlier. It's right around 11 inches of total rainfall across the Mohawk Valley, which has put it still well below average. It's not record-setting for the summer in general, but keep in mind, this is also measuring June, July, and August, every single day in those months, and not accounting for September. Why? Well, it's meteorological summer, so they don't measure individual dates in between those months. Either way, it's still dry out there today. We're going to track a bit more about that dry weather heading into the rest of the week and how it's going to affect that fall foliage coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Federal prosecutor.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Lots of sunshine across the area today as this beautiful stretch of weather continues. Downtown Utica, blue skies across the board. Temperatures so far this afternoon in the low 70s in the Mohawk Valley. We're seeing that wind direction shift a little bit, and that's going to be the case and what's going to be producing some cooler temperatures for the next few days. I know it's been warm, sunny. Now we're still going to see that sunshine, but the temperatures are going to drop a little bit. And we'll get to that here in a second. First off, here is currently what's going on in the southern Atlantic. We have Umberto and we have Imelda here. Imelda is currently churning right off the coast of Florida, parts of Georgia and South Carolina, but it is expected to head out to sea. So it is producing some rainfall right there, but that's really about it. Thankfully, you can actually thank Umberto right here for pulling it out to sea instead of heading farther into the U.S. We are getting a little bit of cloud cover from it. It actually produced a little bit of the beautiful scenery of the sunsets yesterday. Now that cloud cover is exiting. We're going to see a lot more sunshine looking ahead the rest of the week. Recapping September, so far nothing really notable. It was a very warm week last week compared to average. But you go back, we had some cool stretches, some warmer stretches. Either way, the temperature wasn't really a big difference. The main difference was the sunshine and the dry weather. And I showed you some of the stats earlier when it comes to how warm or how dry the summer season was. But to put into perspective on how it's impacting our fall season, let's talk about 2023, which had a rainy August and a dry September. We had a very vibrant fall foliage season. 2024, same story. Slightly less vibrant, but it was still a beautiful season across the area. This year, however, we have not only a dry September, but a dry August. We have 3 straight dry Septembers, but that difference maker with the lack of beneficial rain in the summertime, it fatigues the trees to the point where they start dropping their leaves a lot easier with wind, with rain, or in general just dropping them earlier as the season progresses. Either way, there are some pockets of past peak in the Adirondacks, gray peeking out. Now, that does not mean you won't see peak colors. There's still plenty of green here and there. There's plenty of reds and yellows. It's a little muted, but still, just a heads up, you're going to see a lot more grays than usual, especially in those higher elevations in the Adirondacks. I am expecting maybe a abbreviated fall season, or at least fall foliage season this year, due to the fact that, again, it's been so incredibly dry all summer long. Today, sunshine, temperatures in the 70s. Tonight, we're going to cool down into the 40s. Tomorrow, a little cooler, highs in the mid-60s. Overnight lows in the 30s as we head into Wednesday. In fact, just in the last minute or so, the Weather Service has issued a freeze watch for Otsego County. That would be after the 2nd from midnight to 9 a.m. It's again for Oneida County and Otsego County. So that means that we're going to be seeing potentially our first true frost of the season, as temperatures can likely fall below 32 degrees for both counties too. So it's going to be a cold one, and the season's definitely changing. We got plenty of sun to follow though, Gary.
So that's tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow night, yes.
Eric, thanks. Now to a story that dates back to
Time now for a first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Uh-oh.
So we're starting with a frost alert, which is kind of unusual because it's in the 70s today. But things are going to change in a big way by tomorrow night. Cooler air is going to work in, and some of the outlying spots could get down to near freezing. So if you have any plants that you want to protect, you're going to need to take action tomorrow night. Cover them up, bring them in. That freeze watch is in effect for northern Oneida, Lewis County, and Otsego County. But again, a lot of places will have to keep an eye on this too, besides just those counties. 74 degrees is the current temperature. The dew point's 44. A cold front came through. You probably didn't notice it because it didn't produce much weather at all, but it will be bringing in much cooler conditions tonight. So live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Frost in the forecast for tomorrow night. It'll be chilly tonight too, not quite that cold though. Plenty of sunshine ahead. You've got some warmer weather on the horizon too. Temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s this evening. Beautiful evening ahead. We're taking a look at a nice stretch of weather. We're also keeping tabs on the drought and where we stand in terms of rainfall. We'll look at the forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
A portion of State Route 40.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. An absolutely outstanding day today. Plenty of sunshine, warm, a cool start, but a comfortable afternoon. A live look in downtown Utica. Temperatures made it into the mid-70s, and we've had hardly a cloud in the sky. Looking back at the month of September, it's almost done. It'll be wrapped up today, but it will end up being above average. And it was this last week where we've really made headway. A couple of cool days at the beginning of the month, but for the most part, it has been above average. We'll likely get 10, perhaps 11 days above average for the month, being about a degree to a degree and a half above average, which doesn't sound like a lot, but statistically is significant. Let's talk about some other significant numbers here. The drought. We've had this long period of dry weather since July 1st. We've only had over 6 inches of rain, which is about half of what we typically get. We've run a departure by about 5.5 inches. We've been running a similar deficit throughout the past couple of weeks. We've had 15 days without rainfall. And that, of course, has done a number to the area of reservoirs. This is Delta Lake. This is taken today by our digital content manager, Zach Lewis. You can see the water levels are way, way, way down. And there are spots that are now showing land that have not seen dry conditions in quite a while. And this isn't just the only reservoir that's been low. Hinckley has also seen extremely low water levels. And without any significant rain in sight, I think we are going to see more of that and even drier conditions going forward. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's quiet, temperatures in the mid-70s. We've got some cool weather working in from the north. Watertown 70, Saranac Lake 64. This is going to draw in from the north heading into tonight, tomorrow. This is also going to help push out 2 hurricanes in the Atlantic, Hurricane Imelda and Hurricane Umberto, both Category 1 storms. With that strong cold front moving in, both of these are going to head out to sea and will not impact the East Coast, aside from the waves, of course. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight. Clear skies. It's going to be noticeably cooler. We're down into the upper 30s. A beautiful Wednesday, and it's going to feel a lot more like fall. Very October-like, with temperatures in the mid-60s, fitting, of course, since it is going to be the first day of October. Tomorrow night, clear skies. We're down into the 30s. In fact, many areas could see some frost early Thursday morning, at least temperatures in the mid-30s. And then Thursday afternoon, just a couple of high clouds, another cool day, temperatures in the mid-60s. Clear, cold tonight, down to 38. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, noticeably cooler. High of 66. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Sunshine continues Thursday and Friday, as well as into the weekend, and we warm up. That's a pretty dramatic swing here, going from 30s Wednesday to likely 80s Sunday and Monday, and it's going to be nice and warm. Just remember, don't worry about turning on the air conditioner, because it does get warm in October, but it's pretty fleeting. It doesn't last all afternoon.
Wow, that is wild.
Yes.
82 degrees.
Big swing.
This late. All right. Thank you, Bill.
All right. We saw a pretty cool sight in the sky last night. Those of you that were up late might have been able to see the northern lights. This was around midnight to 1 a.m. So pretty late last night. This is from Bradley Jacobs. This is overlooking Lake Ontario in Oswego. By the way, happy birthday to Bradley. There's a small chance we could see this again tonight, and I think the best chance is going to be when it gets dark enough after sunset. We'll keep an eye on that. Sky conditions are clear. There's a little bit of solar activity tonight, so be away from city lights. Look to the north tonight. If you have a camera that has night mode, or if you have a digital camera, that's the best way to see this. So things look dry in the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Cool tonight, cool over the next 2 days. Temperatures in the 60s, but we warm right back up. We'll be close to 80 degrees heading into early next week. Taking the dog out for a walk this evening. The weather looks fine. Should be pretty nice. Bit of a breeze. Clear skies. Temperatures fall into the 60s. Tonight's featured dog is Gus from Barneveld. If you want to be part of this, head to Skycast WKTV on Facebook. This is brought to you by Nissan. Kristen, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. Rome Health has...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. It's turned out to be a lovely day across Central New York. Here's a live look in Oneonta, temperature of 72 degrees. The leaves have been changing, and the dry weather has done a number to the fall foliage. We've had just stressed out trees that have turned early and have shed their leaves without producing the vibrant color that they've done in the past. It's not to say that there aren't pockets of nice color, but the foliage has been somewhat disappointing just due to the dry weather that we've had and drought and the stress that it's been on the trees. In fact, we are now considered past peak in the Adirondacks. It's not even October yet. This is way ahead of schedule. Last year, it was well into the first week of October, towards the end of the first week. And sometimes it could be even as late as Columbus Day weekend in some of the higher elevations. But again, everything's very early this year, and the colors are dull. Again, that has everything to do with the dry weather that's been happening for the past several weeks. And there's no change in the weather pattern, so this is likely to continue here over the next couple of weeks. Be on the lookout for Comet Swan. We've been watching and have been anticipating this to be visible in the night sky in the evenings. Look for Mars. It's very low on the horizon now, but over the next couple of weeks it's expected to rise. And at this point, you still need a pair of binoculars to see this. It's not visible to the naked eye. It's too dim. And it probably won't be visible to the naked eye, but again, if you have any luck, it looks like October 12th is when it will be brightest, as it's closest to Earth. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look quiet. 74 degrees, the current temperature. We've got cool air draining in from the north. We had a cold front that came through early this morning. Not producing a whole lot of weather, but we will notice a change by tonight. Clinton, Bob, 75 degrees. Barneveld, 71. Helen and Cassville, a breezy 74. Down in Norway, 73. Cooperstown, 69. Worcester with 77. Again, a cold front continues to march to the south. This is going to help push both Umberto and Imelda, both hurricanes, out to sea. So we're going to be in good shape here in central New York. At least we'll dodge both of those. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight. Clear skies, chilly. We're down into the upper 30s tomorrow morning. It's going to feel very much like October tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures climb into the mid 60s. Lots of sunshine, a beautiful day. Tomorrow night, be on the lookout for frosts. Those of you that have sensitive plants, you want to keep them going. You want to bring them in or cover them up, especially if you live just outside the Mohawk Valley. It looks to be a pretty chilly night. Thursday, the weather looks beautiful. Another day in the 60s. The warm weather looks to return heading into the weekend. Clear and cold tonight, down to 38. Sunshine, beautiful day tomorrow, 66. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It warms up. We're in the low 70s Friday. We're back to the upper 70s Saturday. Low 80s, feeling like late summer again. Saturday or Sunday and Monday. The one and only chance for rain in the 7-day, late Tuesday. I have 76. We'll be right back.
Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
So we're tracking a lovely stretch of weather, but also some very chilly nights. In fact, tomorrow night, it might be cold enough for frost, especially in the outlying areas. We have a freeze watch issued by the National Weather Service for northern Oneida, Lewis County, and Otsego County. I know that county. It's just, it's like Monday part 2. Anyway, 70 degrees is the current temperature, dew point 42. It's dry. That dry weather is going to help temperatures tumble over the next couple of nights. We're going to get down into the 30s tonight. We'll stay away from frost, though. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look quiet. Again, it's chilly tonight, some frost tomorrow night to watch, plenty of sunshine ahead. We've got some warm days after a couple of cool ones ahead, especially as we look ahead to the weekend and beyond. This evening, temperatures in the 60s, very comfortable, but again, it does cool off tonight. We are tracking a couple of chances for temperatures in the 30s at night. Look at your forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Oneida County will have to.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Another beautiful day across central New York. Let's take a live look in downtown Utica. Lots and lots of sunshine. And again, just very comfortable conditions out there. It's going to cool off tonight. Last night, some of us saw the northern lights. These showed up after midnight. This picture from Bradley Jacobs in Oswego. There is a small chance that we could see them tonight. My advice would be to check after sunset, probably like 7:30, 8 o'clock when it gets dark enough. By the way, happy birthday to Bradley. Looking back at September, it's not quite done yet, but it will be today, and it will turn out to be above average, especially that last week of weather. We've had a stretch of above average days in a row, and that will put September above average. Quick check of the drought numbers here. We're still running 5.5 inches below on rainfall and 15 days in a row this month without rain. We've been keeping track of this since July 1st. And of course, the dry weather continues to show itself, especially in the reservoirs. This was from our digital content manager, Zach Lewis, doing a Facebook video. You can see this on our News Channel 2 page about how low the water levels are, specifically on Delta Lake today. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's looking quiet, 70 degrees, the temperature at Griffiths and Rome. It is going to cool off. We had a cold front come through earlier today. We'll notice it tonight. Mike in New Hartford, 72. Bill in Old Forge, 67. Down in Norway, 73. Westford, Dave checking in with 71. This cold front's going to push both of these hurricanes, both Umberto and Imelda, out to sea. So some good news there. We're going to stay dry across central New York. We'll drop down into the 30s tonight, the upper 30s. So we'll stay away from frost tonight, but it will be a chilly night. Lots of sunshine tomorrow. It's going to feel like October. Temperatures climb into the mid-60s. Cold enough for patchy frost tomorrow night in the outlying areas. We'll get down into the 30s, and then sunshine returns Thursday. High temperatures climb into the mid-60s. Clear and cold tonight. We're down to 38. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. Noticeably cooler. High of 66. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Against Apache frost tomorrow night, 35 for the overnight low. Thursday's high 65. We're into the 30s again Thursday night. Beautiful weather, and we warm up. Friday we're up to 73. Saturday 79. We're into the low 80s, which is way above average for October, at least early October. Well, really any part of October. Temperatures in the low 80s both of those days.
Bill, thank you.
All right, thank you, Bill. Still to come on News Channel forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Getting a little chilly out there, but this was so cool.
Yeah, we had some fun tonight.
We did. We were out in this tonight.
Yeah,
Look
so
at this.
this is our backyard. Isn't this awesome? Yeah. So right outside the studio today, we caught a glimpse of the Northern Lights.
Right here, the pillars.
Yeah, it's got some pillars. Look at these colors. I mean, it's vibrant greens, pinks. There's some pink up here.
Yeah.
This was around 8:30. A little bit of activity continues tonight. Not quite like this at the moment, but you never know. It's worth checking out. You know what? For all the times I hear, oh, it's always cloudy every time these things come out, you're wrong. We've had a couple of great nights here to be able to see that, and maybe more in our future. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Clear skies across central New York. A temperature of 59 degrees. It is chilly out there. We were just taking pictures of the Northern Lights, and that breeze definitely has a bite to it. So if you are heading out, just dress up. Dress nice and warm. It's going to be cool for the next couple of days, but then the weather does warm up as we look ahead to the weekend. Chilly tonight, probably cold enough to close the windows, keep the house from cooling off too much. Temperatures drop down into the upper 30s. We are tracking some frost potential for tomorrow night. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. The state dedicated.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Before I jump into the rainfall stats, just want to give you an update. The Northern Lights are out tonight. You can notice a very faint glow to the north. And so what happens sometimes is that we get into these substorms. So you'll get this green glow to the north, and then you'll get these pillars that'll show up for about 10-15 minutes, and they'll be random. Well, right now, we still have that glow to the north. There might be another surge of this in the next half an hour to an hour. You need a camera that can take pictures in night mode to be able to see this. I was able to see this with the naked eye. There was a very dim glow, but you got to know where you're looking in order to be able to spot it. It's not very easy to. So we do have a little bit of solar activity out there tonight. Let's talk about the rainfall. It's been extremely dry for the past couple of months. Since July 1st, we've been running a rainfall departure of over 5 inches, including 15 days in a row without rainfall. This dry weather is going to continue, and it's been leading to scenes like this. This is Delta Lake. the levels are way down. We've been seeing that in many various streams, rivers, and reservoirs. September is going to go down as an above average month, and it was that last week that really put us over the edge. Very warm weather. In addition to the warmth, it's been exceptionally dry, and that's had a number on the fall foliage. We are now considered past peak in the Adirondacks. Colors have been pretty dull so far due to the dry weather. It's also been very early. The trees are pretty stressed. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Clear skies, temperature of 59 degrees at Griffiths and Rome. Cool air is going to spill in from the north. It's going to be pretty chilly tonight. Cold front that has moved through will be pushing both hurricanes out to sea. That's Umberto and Imelda that are sitting out in the Atlantic. These are going to the east thanks to that push of cooler weather to the north. But what that means for us locally is a pretty chilly night. We're down into the upper 30s. Beautiful day tomorrow. Expecting plenty of sunshine. Temperatures climb into the mid-60s, so noticeably cooler compared to today. Watch out for some frost tomorrow night. Overnight lows look to drop into the mid-30s. Sunshine rate continues on Thursday. Comfortable temperatures in the mid-60s. Clear and cold tonight. We're down to 38. I'm not expecting frost tonight. Sunshine tomorrow is 66. Frost is going to be more of a possibility tomorrow night, down to 35. The sunshine continues throughout the remainder of the week, and temperatures are going to warm up. We're still pretty chilly Thursday night, 39. 70s Friday. Upper 70s Saturday, and then low 80s heading into Sunday and Monday. And our streak of beautiful weather for high school football continues.
Yeah, we haven't had a bad night yet.
It's been great. Yeah.
We'll take it. All right, thank you, Bill. Coming up next, first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. Well, we're busy. Okay, we're very busy
living
in the
my
newsroom,
dream.
but we take time out for things like this. We are outside, loving what we're seeing.
I live for this stuff.
Northern
Absolutely.
Lights in Utica.
I know, and that's the thing. You know, at one point we thought you had to go north to be able to see this.
Sure.
You could see this from your backyard if you're away from city lights. I mean, this was right outside the parking lot. You don't have to go to Smith Hill to see this, as long as you just have a view to the north.
And let's be clear. This is your special camera.
Yeah.
I took some photos on my Facebook page with my cell phone.
Yes.
So if you can't see it with the naked eye, pull your phone out.
And we could see some of this with the naked eye. Now, this is better than what you would see with your naked eye, but it was still very cool. The Northern Lights were out today. They're still out now. They don't look quite like that. We're not seeing the pillars of light shooting into the sky at the moment, but along the northern horizon, you'll notice a very faint glow. It's been out for pretty much all evening. We'll see where things stand into tonight. We usually take things hour by hour with this, but it is possible that this might turn into another light show here overnight. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We've got clear skies. That's another thing. I always hear all the time, it's too cloudy. We never see anything good around here. Well, you know what? You're wrong. It's clear out there now, and again, we have the opportunity to see the northern lights. Current temperature 54 degrees. Temperatures will be in the 60s over the next couple of days, and then we'll start to warm up as we head into the weekend. If you're going to bed tonight, probably a good idea to close the windows. It's going to be pretty chilly. We're down into the upper 30s. We're tracking a frost chance for tomorrow night. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. The state dedicated.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. We are starting out by taking a look at the rainfall numbers here. Before I get into that, just wanted to make mention that the northern lights are out tonight. If you look to the north, you'll notice a very faint glow. That's how it's been for most of this evening. Occasionally, it will erupt into pillars. We saw that happen around 8:30. That's called a substorm. Those are highly unpredictable. But if you have a camera that can take night photos, it might be worth just kind of hanging around tonight and keeping an eye on that, at least for the next hour or so, because we might see another round of this. Again, look to the north, be away from city lights. As long as you have a good view to the north and you're in a dark spot, it doesn't really matter where you are. You could be in Old Forge, you could be in Cooperstown, you could be in Hartwick. You'll be able to see it. All right, let's talk about the drought. By the numbers here, we've had this stretch of extremely dry weather. We're still running 5.5 inches behind on rainfall since July 1st. We've had about half as much rain as typical. That includes 15 days in a row without any rainfall. And of course, it's been noticeable in many of the area reservoirs and streams. And this one, for example, is Delta Lake, taken by our own Zach Lewis. Water levels will continue to be very low throughout the rest of this week with dry weather in place. September ends in a few minutes here. It's going to end up being above average, and it was mainly the last week that put us over. We've had some very warm weather recently. September will go in the books as about 1.5 degrees above average. It's also been really dry, and that combination of dry, warm weather has led to a generally dull foliage season so far. The leaves have come out early, and they're falling early. We're now considered past peak in the Adirondacks. Again, the drought has been a big stressor to the trees, and it's been causing the leaves to change extremely quickly. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Eastern Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look quiet. It's chilly, 54 degrees at Griffiths and Rome. Will drop down to the upper 30s tonight. Big cold front rolled through earlier today. It's going to push both Hurricane Umberto and Imelda out to sea, so our weather will stay dry. Tonight, overnight lows drop down to the upper 30s. It's a beautiful day tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, but it will be noticeably cooler with highs in the mid-60s. Watch out for patchy frosts tomorrow night. If you have any plants you want to save, you're going to have to cover them up or bring them inside, especially if you live outside the Mohawk Valley. Temperatures are expected to drop into the mid-30s. Clear and cold tonight, down to 38. Tomorrow, sunshine, a high of 66. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Beautiful weather here throughout the end of the week into the weekend. We've got a significant warm up on the way with temperatures close to 80.